Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast, and today I want to share with you the Double Masters Draft Archetypes. Now, one interesting thing I want to mention before getting into the archetypes is because Double Masters has 2 rares in every pack, we get to actually design around the rares a little more than normal. They're just more likely to show up. So for example, normally in sets we have Signpost multicolored uncommons. Here we have those, but we also have a cycle of Signpost gold rares that are likely to float around the table. So as I'm running through this, if I give a few rares as examples, that's because you're more likely to see them than ever. Now, normally when you look at a set's 10 2-color archetypes, they're all pretty distinct. This set is a little bit different. Because of all of the artifacts in the set, Double Masters has a huge artifact theme, we ended up with some clusters that make drafting pretty interesting. Now, there are 2 main clusters. The first cluster is in white, blue, and black, and this is the really heavy Artifact Matters cluster. Every color cares about artifacts in some way, but these 3 are going to be the ones that care about it the most. The blue-white version cares the most about simply amassing a bunch of artifacts on the battlefield. It's got some commons and uncommons that are just great efficient creatures, but also if you open them up, Linabunas or Tempered Steel are excellent white rares to add to the cause. Blue-black, on the other hand, is a little bit more about enters the battlefield effects and dying. For example, you've got Esprazoa to reset, say, a Metalworker's Puzzle Knot every turn, or simply play a bunch of artifacts with Glaze Fiend on the battlefield. Good stuff. And finally, of the artifact trifecta, white-black is all about recursion. You've got things like Sanctum Gargoyle and Executioner's Capsule, that's been a combo since Shards of Alara, alongside cards like Remember the Fallen to help get you plenty of things back into your hand to reuse over and over and over again. So that's the artifact cluster. The other cluster is the Jund cluster, green, red, black. And that one is all about dies and sacrifice. In green-black, you've got to focus on morbid, so things just dying. Cards like Deathroot Ritual and More Corrupt Banshee are going to be all-stars here. By contrast, red-black is all about sacrificing things. So you have cards like Defiant Scavenger or Ravenous Intruder, and then sacrifice some piddly artifacts like, say, a Chromatic Star to fuel your cause. Red-green is a little bit different cut than the other 2. It's got some ramp and some big creatures it can throw down, plenty of combat tricks. I mean, Gorklan Rampager is its marquee uncommon, but it also has some sacrifice. Kuldotha Flame Fiend is an excellent thing to ramp into to blow up your opponent's board, and all it costs you is 1 piddly artifact. No problem. Alright, so moving out of the 2 clusters, that leaves us with 4 archetypes left. The first one I want to get into is Green White Go Wide. This one is a bit more what it sounds like on the tin. Get a bunch of creatures, put tokens and things into play, and then either get 1 big creature with a card like Crusader of Odric, or just cast Might of the Masses and deal a ton of damage to your opponent. Blue-red is one of my favorites. I call it the cheat stack. It's a Reanimator variant. You use cards like Trash for Treasure, downshifted to uncommon, and Argivian Restoration to bring back things like Inkwell Leviathan and Bosch. All you have to do is loot them away to, say, a Riddlesmith, and you're good to go. Red-white is an aggressive deck all about equipment. Unfortunately, there's plenty of equipment in this artifact-based set. You've got cards like Weapons Master and Swiftblade Vindicator, which of course pair well with equipment, as well as things like Golemskin Gauntlets, Ancestral Blade, or if you open one, a sword to round things out. And finally, blue-green. This is a comically huge ramp deck, using cards like Whisper of the Wilds and Apprentice Wizard, which ramp you pretty well, into cards like its Signpost uncommon, Yavimaya Embrace. Prepare to cast some big spells. Double Masters is a blast to draft. I mean, with all the rares running around, no 2 drafts are really the same. I hope you get the chance to check it out, perhaps on Magic Online. I'll talk with you again on Wednesday, and in the meantime, may you find 2 rares in your next booster pack. You got this.